Kuzuzangpo and a very warm welcome to Bhutan this week. My name is Namgyo Wongtuk and our top stories for this week. Prime Minister along with representatives from the government and people from all walks of life offered Tashi Khada to His Majesty the King. The government requires an additional fund of 1.9 billion newton to complete the widening works of East-West Highway by 2017. And Pasang Doji from Bhutan wins the Strongman competition title this year. As is tradition every year on His Majesty's birthday, the Prime Minister along with the representatives from the government and people from all walks of life offered Tashi Khada to His Majesty the King at the Linkana Palace.
Also among those offering Tashi Khada to His Majesty the King were representatives from the opposition, constitutional bodies, armed forces, Shundasa, centenary farmers, Desups, taxi drivers and Trangsa Pendop scholarship recipients. Every year, His Majesty the King grants audience to the representatives from all sections of Bhutanese society as a gesture of appreciation of their work and in recognition of their important roles in contributing to the nation. This year, the representatives also received the special honor of offering their wishes and Tashi Lektar for the royal birth of His Royal Highness the Gese. Tojjama, BBS News.
For the Bhutanese, it is considered the greatest honor to be able to serve our kings. On His Majesty's birthday every year, courtiers, retired senior government officials, monks and armed force personnel offer their wishes to His Majesty the King on His Majesty's birth anniversary.
Some of them served since the time of His Majesty the Second Dugabo. These are the veterans who have witnessed some of the most important moments of the history during their service to their kings and the people. It was also a special honor to receive an opportunity to offer Tashi Lektar for the royal birth of His Royal Highness the Gese.
ngada gebegi chungkor dichindi nalu de Gese rimbuche ya dari sheje bimidi ngachi penkha nimchu da Mr. Mangara semgai se shunibi di matu de Gese gi chejenga gi kase da usume je ngachi peden du pe kya khap ki nalu de nami same temba yuning du neni da ngachi peden du pe kya khap da kawada ki pa juni gi tende sangbo yimidi ngachi minam cham kan chanyam lera tashimela yibe khallo yapseni gi be nami same tuji na Mrs. Chugi rewa dup tsumidi ngachi nami same sem gai shunibi
가즈카니 명아들을 무치 거라기 장림이 통로 미세 영로 데 세 투니 유세디기베 미세말로 순시 남기 님들 구축디기베 대nga치 님디 구디게르바 뒤 유세 데 다리보다 같이 미세기 가지기베베 데 균다 바체 가양 맞주바 맞아 두개 합나 미세 가라기 데 기두지미베 왕주주진기 게럽 베니기 단달레 데 세디 마투 뚜베 세기 두두좀베 데 퉁디기베베 맞아 남세미기 셈가이 세디기베 데베슈니
다리님 자카 ninjagam lejim dilu aji ngada gebigi sedi tubadi tumshile de duge khade yage konfe yebigi tendechi amelom chitaba omila
tatare ngate kara tena ngada gebigi te se tumbe te tare yapse kara se je su tu te namesam tenatara total talo nasi gisi te masho dobale te sheje suntunindigi te namesame kadichi
yani masari ngaraji gaje jomisibe edana soje ganani yede na naune ambaraje madalimuji koraje yimene yumje yereje seji je yana nami samisi sambazo yishiruni birina nami sambazo 이제는 양 담바라네 야냐 민호라니 남이 서 꾸시리 좀 이거면 담니냐
게춘다 게 튕아서디 talo maha nimchi ase toto pana se chi thoni menu namchi thunga se ngachar sasab domre lu ni chi chap te gechin ane be pana ri jebere te ta oi toto nya chachbere junu te ta kadebi na soigi semigi chage na samil lang be te ane be dichi se ne be shunila tari ngache gisho ansue te na me nga dari mo chingi 포ton기 볼로할 차디기 베테 게세 제니 톱 다리 나처럼 미 아게디 속에 때 니즈미기 멜람치 땀니기 뚜캅 토디기 나체 다 시소레 삼바도 세노 데벨하테 마체 히마 차슈디 비드수 뜻나 게세 퉁디기베 안디기디 뜻데 제와 쇼세 까나면들로 때가체 차슈비드스라 히마기 차슈비드스다 나체 담에서미 뜻데 개와사노 담에서미 카리시세 슈니
His Majesty the King also granted an audience to them at the Linkana Palace. They offered tar to His Majesty the King on His Majesty's birth anniversary. Chetan Dupchu, PBS News.
Bhutanese from all walks of life were overjoyed yet again when Cooper of His Royal Highness the Gasse were released on the official Facebook pages of Their Majesties. And the pictures of the Gasse were taken by His Majesty the King himself. His Royal Highness is also seen with Their Majesties. It was to commemorate the birth anniversary of His Majesty the King. Thousands of people shared the pictures on social media showing their love and respect to His Royal Highness and Their Majesties. Hundreds of people from Tangsibjigyok in Trangsa, home of Her Majesty the Gyaltsin's paternal grandfather, gathered to offer their prayers on the birth anniversary of His Majesty the King and celebrate the birth of His Royal Highness the Gasse. The celebrations were held in Tangsibji village.
The celebrations started with a group of children offering their wishes for His Majesty the King. The people then offered khadar before a Cooper of His Majesty the King, Her Majesty the Gyaltsin and His Royal Highness the Gyaltse.
With the birth of the Gasse, we have been assured of the continuity of a trusted leader we could look up to. So coinciding with the birth anniversary of His Majesty the King, we are celebrating the birth of the Gasse as well. Everyone is in a festive mood. The royal birth has given us reasons to come together, eat together and rejoice.
People expressed their deep happiness in celebrating the royal birth. Various cultural programs were also performed to celebrate the day. Compiled for Sujaman Thapa, Nirup Gyaltsin for BBS News.
Her Majesty the Queen Mother Doji Wangmo Wangchuk awarded certificates to 100 planters who set a world record by planting most trees in 1 hour. It is Bhutan's first ever entry into the Guinness Book of World Records. The Office of Guinness World Records in London also awarded a certificate of recognition to the government for the achievement.
These are the men behind the Guinness World Records achievement. The room was filled with a sense of accomplishment. They planted over 49,000 saplings at Kunsal Fodang in June last year.
I'm here at Kunsal Foda. This is the site where 100 men set a Guinness World Record by planting over 49,000 saplings last year. And today, when I came to this site, I see most of the saplings have turned into beautiful plants. According to the project coordinator from Pixar, he said he chose this area for the plantation site because the area was barren. Secondly, it is an offering to the Buddha statue which is located just above this site.
The record was set on 2nd June last year. And today, after over 8 months, most of the saplings are growing well.
When it comes to the plantation, right after we achieved the world record in plantation, our project Begin has officially handed over the plantation to the Ministry of Agriculture and Forest. However, the project, with of course with help of our 100 planters, will continue looking after the plants, and very soon we have a plan to meet all the planters once again, and then we might try to adopt all the trees planted.
The planters who are interested may come anytime and look after their saplings. They can also get saplings from us and replace if necessary. This means not only nurturing the plants, but also making an offering to the Buddha statue.
The plantation was organized by Pixar to commemorate the 60th birth anniversary of His Majesty the 4th Trugelpo. There are also plans to attempt another world record to plant most trees in Lindsay, but this time it will with the women. For Sonam Penjo, Kipchu for BBS News.
Department of Roads needs additional fund of 1.9 billion newton to complete the widening works of the East-West Highway. This was discussed in the first Project Monitoring Committee meeting of India's Project Tied Assistance for the current 5-year plan. The meeting was held between the two governments of India and Bhutan.
Gross National Happiness Commission's director said extra fund is required as the Roads Department expects to finish the widening works by December 2017. The Indian government has given over 4 billion newton for the widening works so far.
Among the 4 projects with upward cost revision, the major increase is for the upgrade, where additional funds of close to about 2 billion is required. We expect the project to be completed by December 2017, end of next year. So because of this now, we would require the full amount during the 11th 5-year plan.
However, the approval of funds will be confirmed only after having a dialogue between the two governments later in August this year. The works began in February 2014 and almost 70% of the work is complete. The highway stretches from Semtoka till Teshigang. Pemal Hatin for BBS News.
More than 100 building owners were penalized by the Thimphu Thomde for poor waste management in their areas on Thursday. During a surprise inspection, officials collected more than 100,000 mutram as fine for not following the rules and regulations.
According to Waste Prevention and Management Regulation 2012, littering, dumping, smearing of lime, and display of posters are not allowed in the public places, but only few abide by the rules and regulations. So today, Thimphu Thomde officials are not just only monitoring, but also imposing fine to keep the city clean.
The inspection was carried out along the northern and Changnam areas. According to the regulation, a house owner should maintain their surroundings clean. But not many have done that. Most of them paid a fine of 100 newton for littering. But some of the house owners were asked to pay 20,000 newton for dumping or releasing waste into the prohibited areas as per the regulation.
we have done cleaning campaigns, we have done awareness campaigns, and it is not working. So we have now decided that based on all the rules and regulations in place, we will penalize people for not following those rules. Like if a property owner doesn't keep his area clean, we will definitely fine on the spot. So based on that, we want to now henceforth send in regular monitors to check and fine maybe once a week.
Thomde officials also inspected drainage system, fencings and floorings in the town.
The other things that we have looked at is the open drains. We have to cover all the drains. If it is in private land, the private property owner will have to enclose all their drains. No open drains should be allowed. And also, wherever there is drains in the government land, so those will be now developed by the city. We want to close all the drains. There are big drains, stormwater drains near Tandin Brook Shopping Complex. There are certain big drains in the central area which will all be closed and converted into footpaths.
Officials will be strictly monitoring the whole city to manage and prevent waste. Strongman, BBS News.
As per last year's National Nutrition Survey report, 15% of the pregnant women's population in country consume alcohol and betel nut during pregnancy. However, the World Health Organization stresses the prevalence should be zero. Pediatricians say such habit puts the lives of both the mother and baby at risk.
Health workers say despite mentioning of no to alcohol and betel nut during pregnancy on health books, some pregnant women do not pay heed to it. Dr. K.P. Singh, a senior pediatrician with the National Referral Hospital, explains that if a pregnant woman takes alcohol, it could lead to miscarriage or stillbirth of a baby during delivery. Stillbirth means death of a fetus while in womb.
There is definitely, harmful effect of alcohol on the baby. If the mother takes alcohol during pregnancy, any type of alcohol may be harmful for the baby. So, and in literature or in in scientific literature, we have a condition called fetal alcohol spectrum disease. So it is a syndrome which is characterized by deformity of the head, like microcephaly, the small head, and then babies are born preterm baby, low birth weight babies, and then as they grow they can be learning disabilities also.
Consuming betel nut during pregnancy also has risks of miscarriage, delivering premature baby and stillbirth. Pemal Harden for BBS News.
People of Nobding village in Wangdi Phodrang have been facing water shortage for almost 5 months now. Locals say the main water supply pipe of the village has been damaged by the east-west highway widening works. This water pipe along the highway caters drinking water to more than 20 households of Nobding village. It was connected to the source in 2013 as part of the Rural Water Supply Scheme. And since October last year, villagers claim the highway widening works has been leaving the pipes damaged time and again.
As you can see, the pipe has been damaged by the machine during the widening work. People complained about it to the Geok administration, following which we came to inspect. The pipes, even the metal ones, were damaged. And if we try and repair it today, the next day it is damaged again.
We repair it several times, and it is expensive for us to replace or repair the pipes every time it's damaged.
People said they have now stopped repairing the pipes, and in absence of an alternative water source, they have been managing drinking water from places wherever available.
We fetch water from a stream. That's how we have been managing. At times, we get water from the PWD supply. As you can see, we have to store water in containers. It's inconvenient. We thought the situation would improve soon, but then nothing is happening. The water supply was provided to us by the government.
There's no enough water for our children to wash their clothes or even do the dishes. People easily get cough and cold or fall sick. Water is needed for every household chore, so it's inconvenient when there is no water. I fetch water from nearby sources, and at times I get it from my sister's place who lives in the nearby town.
Karchung, an official from the regional office of Department of Roads in Lobisa, said the villagers were already informed not to route the water pipes along the highway. He said villagers also did not get clearance from the office for the purpose, which otherwise is necessary. He said it is difficult to avoid the pipes while widening the route. Villagers said since the water source is located near the highway, the pipes were also fitted alongside the route. However, for now, the only option for them is to wait for widening works to complete, which route officials confirmed won't take long. For Komal Kharka in Wangdi Fodrang, Namgyo Wangchuk, BBS News. An important heritage site, the Iron Chain Bridge of Tamcholhaga in Paro, is in need of restoration. It was built by Thangthong Gyalpo, a great Buddhist yogi. The bridge was completely rebuilt in 2003 with the famous iron chains made by Drupthop himself. The temple is popularly known as Tamcholhaga.
Tamcholhagang is located just across the Thimphu-Paro highway at Dogar Gyeok in Paro. It was built by the renowned Thangthang Gyalpo around 600 years ago. Just next to it is a suspension bridge built with the iron chains made by Thangthang Gyalpo himself. This bridge was reconstructed in 2003 after the original one was washed away during a flood in 1968. Pema Sring, whose wife is one of the descendants, has been looking after both the temple and the bridge.
The bridge was damaged from there. At both the ends, we can see the bridge is broken.
This, Pema said, first happened 2 years ago. He said an accident could happen anytime with the bridge still being used by the locals and tourists. And even though the situation was reported to the Gyeok officials, Pema said there was no vote on repairing the damages. Frequent theft of the iron chain links also pose a risk of losing the bridge completely. Pema said there have already been 3 incidents. The latest one happened just 2 months ago.
A part of the broken piece is kept in the Haga. The rest, we tied it back. People come and try to steal parts of the chain link.
All 3 cases were reported to the police, but the culprits were never found. Both the temple and the bridge are looked after by the descendants of Thangthang Gyalpo. Compiled for Yishi Gelson in Paro, Sringzam, BBS News.
With increasing number of people moving to towns from rural areas, conducting local festivals like Chechu has become a challenge. However, the people of Dangchu Gyeok in Wangdi Fodrang have managed to preserve one of the oldest Chechu in the Gyeok.
Locals here say this wooden mask of Rakshalango is around 1000 years old. It is considered sacred and important relic for the people of Dangchu Gyeok. This is Dangchu Chechu, which is held once every 3 years. And the mask can be seen only that time. Hundreds of locals in the best attire attend the Chechu to receive blessings from the Rakshalango Cham.
Russia di te mima yongi dinalu te oshu dinalu melam tap dinalu.
Among many unique dances performed in this statue, we consider Raksha Langu Gicham as most sacred, auspicious and important. If we can conduct the Raksha Gicham, it not only brings good luck in our villages, but also in the entire country. Most of our masks and costumes are very old and distinct.
Danabagi Babsum membership, the Tabugi Baptisude, Namsamigi, Semjingu Zumberate Anime, Jenny session.
The statue has been performed in Dendupchuling Ginzishedra since 15th century. Toling Gisinje Pomocham is unique to this statue. Locals and monks from the Shedra perform the dances.
The Masal Ranigi, Pamigi, Lam Luxul Dusu, Manyamba.
I believe that to promote our philosophy of gross national happiness, we need to preserve our age-old culture and tradition, which has been practiced by our ancestors. By preservation of our local cultures, we directly promote the philosophy of GNH.
Kunkin Pendro Doji, who is the lineage of 13 Doji Lingpa, first initiated the statue in early 15th century. The 4-day statue concluded on Wednesday. For Komal Kharka, Sonam Singh, PBS News.
With taxpayers facing problem filing personal income tax online this year as well, the Department of Revenue and Customs has extended the deadline to file the tax. The deadline will now be 15th March instead of end of this month. The department admitted it has made mistakes for not being able to make the Revenue Administration Management Information System or REMIS work as expected. The system was launched last year.
On behalf of the department and the ministry, I would like to apologize for causing inconvenience to the taxpayers and the general public for not being, for them not being able to file their taxes, and for us not being able to inform them on a timely manner as to how they should do, or if they couldn't file online, what are the next measures. That you can now file your returns manually if the system is not accepting, either visiting our offices, or if you are far away from our offices, even by sending it through post. For next year, we would like to ensure the general public and the taxpayers that we will ensure that this kind of a situation doesn't arise, and if at all we have some issues, we will inform you at least a month or two in advance.
As the stage was set for final showdown of the Strongman competition, Pasang Doji from Bumtang emerged victorious. With coveted title and prize up for grabs, 5 finalists competed in the competition coinciding with the birth anniversary of His Majesty the King.
Each of the finalists made their presence felt with powerful entrance in the field as enthusiastic crowd looked on and cheered. The final comprised of seasoned and experienced competitors except for Punakha and Trangsa. The race was tight in the beginning, but eventually Theong Doji from Dagana took charge in the competition. He seemed like never looking back and making up for the disappointing season he had last year. But exhaustion took a toll on him as he fell to the ground just before reaching the finish line. Last year's runners-up Pasang Doji, who fought hard from behind Dagana contestant, took advantage of the situation. When the dust settled at Strongman competition, he was the winner and received a cash prize of 300,000 Newton. With top prize gone, Dagana contestant was locked in a tight battle with Pasang of Thimphu for the second place. Dagana contestant Theong Doji made amends for the slip on the ground as he desperately and successfully carried the tyres across the finish line. For claiming second place, he was awarded 200,000 Newton. Pasang from Thimphu closed out the podium in third place. He was awarded a cash prize of 100,000 Newton. Trangsa Dzongkhap, which took the title for 2 years consecutively, had to settle for last place this time. Chetan Dupchu, PBS News.
Well then, that's all we have for you this week. Join us next week, same time and same channel. Thank you for watching.